Dr. Amanda Clark sat in front of her computer screen at 3 in the morning. The radio telescope had been quiet all night, picking up nothing but the usual sounds from space. She rubbed her tired eyes and reached for her cold coffee. Just another boring night shift at the New Mexico facility. Then something changed. The speakers crackled to life with a sound she had never heard before. It was not random noise like usual. This was different. The signal came in patterns, mathematical patterns. Someone or something was sending it on purpose. Amanda's hands shook as she typed commands into her computer. The signal grew stronger. It was coming from somewhere beyond the moon. Her heart started beating faster. After 15 years of listening to empty space, she might have found what every scientist dreamed of finding. She grabbed her phone and called her supervisor. "Dr. Peterson, you need to get here right now. I think we have something." 2 hours later, the facility was full of people. Military officers, government officials, and scientists crowded around Amanda's workstation. Everyone was talking at once, but she could barely hear them. The signal kept getting stronger. Above Earth, Captain Jake Morrison floated inside the International Space Station. He was supposed to be sleeping, but something outside caught his eye. He pressed his face against the small window and looked toward the moon. What he saw made his blood turn cold. Ships, hundreds of them, maybe thousands. They moved in perfect formation around the dark side of the moon. Each ship was huge, bigger than anything humans had ever built. They looked like they were made of crystal and metal, glowing with a soft blue light. Jake grabbed his radio with shaking hands. "Ground control, this is Morrison on the station. You need to hear this right now." Down in Colorado, General Patricia Hayes was already awake in the NORAD command center. Red lights flashed everywhere. Computer screens showed tracking data that made no sense. Objects were moving toward Earth at impossible speeds. "How many?" she asked her aide. "We count at least 3,000 ships, General. They're moving in formation. This is definitely not natural." General Hayes had been in the military for 30 years. She had seen wars and disasters, but nothing had prepared her for this moment. She picked up the red phone that connected directly to the White House. "Mr. President, we have a situation." President William Carter was in his pajamas when the call came. Within minutes, he was in the Situation Room surrounded by his top advisors. The main screen showed a live feed from the space station. Everyone could see the alien fleet moving closer to Earth. "How long do we have?" the president asked. "At their current speed, maybe 3 days," General Hayes replied through the video link. That was when the aliens made first contact. Every television, radio, and computer screen on Earth suddenly showed the same image. A tall, thin creature with pale skin and large black eyes appeared. It wore some kind of metallic armor that seemed to glow. When it spoke, its voice was calm and cold. "People of Earth," the alien said in perfect English. "I am Commander Zeth of the Kethvar Dominion. Your world has been selected for resource acquisition. You have 72 hours to surrender your weapons and prepare for processing. Resistance is futile. We have conquered 47 worlds across this galaxy. Your primitive technology cannot harm us." The alien's image disappeared, replaced by footage of the massive fleet. Ship after ship filled the screen, each one bristling with weapons that looked far beyond human understanding. Dr. Amanda Clark watched the broadcast from her facility. Her discovery had changed everything. She thought about her daughter sleeping at home, about her elderly parents in Florida. What would happen to them? What would happen to everyone? But not everyone was afraid. In a hidden bunker deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Richard Stone smiled as he watched the alien broadcast. He had been waiting for this day for 27 years. Around him, dozens of scientists and military officers worked at computer terminals, activating systems that had been dormant for decades. Finally, Dr. Stone said to his assistant, "Phase 1 is complete. Begin Phase 2. Admiral Susan Brooks received the coded message while sitting in her office at an undisclosed location. She had been expecting this call for years. She picked up her secure phone and dialed a number that only 12 people in the world knew. "This is Admiral Brooks. Authentication code, Alpha 77. Begin Operation Prometheus." I repeat, begin Operation Prometheus. Across the solar system, hidden systems came to life. In asteroid fields, what looked like space rocks opened up to reveal weapon platforms. Near Jupiter, a research station that everyone thought was abandoned suddenly powered up its engines. On the far side of the moon, construction equipment that had been decommissioned began moving towards secret warehouses. Captain Lisa Murphy was asleep in her quarters aboard what everyone believed was a simple cargo ship. The alert woke her instantly. She had been training for this moment for 8 years. She put on her uniform and walked to the bridge of the USS Defiant, humanity's first true warship. "Crew to battle stations," she announced over the ship's speakers. "This is not a drill." The ship around her transformed. Cargo bay doors opened to reveal missile launchers. The hull plating shifted to expose beam weapons. What had looked like an ordinary transport vessel became something far more dangerous. Back on Earth, people were panicking. Traffic jams filled every highway as families tried to flee the cities. Store shelves emptied as people bought food and water. Government officials told everyone to stay calm, but nobody was listening. The alien commander appeared on screens again. This time he showed images of other worlds the Kethvar had conquered. Cities turned to ash, oceans boiled away, entire populations wiped out in hours. "This is your fate if you resist," Commander Zeth said. "Surrender now, and some of you will. Be allowed to live as workers, fight us, and you will all die." President Carter appeared on television an hour later. He looked tired but determined. "My fellow Americans and citizens of the world," he began, "we will not surrender. We will not give up our freedom. Humanity will stand together and face this threat." What the president did not say was that humanity had been preparing for this day much longer than anyone knew. The panic in the streets was real, but so was something else, something the aliens could not see. Hope. In hidden facilities around the world, weapons that should not exist were powering up. Ships that were not supposed to be real were moving into position. Plans that had been decades in the making were finally beginning. The Kethvar thought they were facing a primitive species with simple weapons. They had no idea what was really waiting for them. The 72-hour countdown had begun. Earth's darkest hour was about to become something completely different, something the aliens would never expect. 60 hours left on the countdown. Dr. Richard Stone walked through the underground halls of Facility 7. The bunker stretched for miles beneath the Colorado mountains. Most people did not even know it existed. Stone had spent half his life building this place and others like it around the world. "Status report," he said to his aide, Captain Linda Walsh. "All systems are online," she replied, reading from her tablet. "Weapons platforms 1 through 12 are fully charged. The orbital stations are ready. Our ships are moving into position." Stone nodded. 27 years ago, he had been a young scientist working on the SETI project. One night, he picked up a signal from deep space. It was not from the aliens now approaching Earth. It was from something else, something that had been destroyed by the Kethvar Dominion 50 years earlier. The signal was a warning, a dying world's last message to any species that might be listening. It told about the Kethvar and how they conquered planet after planet. It also contained technical data about their ships and weapons. Most scientists would have ignored the message. They would have called it fake or impossible, but Stone believed it. He took the data to the military, and together they started Project Prometheus. Admiral Susan Brooks sat in her command center on the hidden base near Saturn. Through her window, she could see the construction yards where humanity's secret fleet had been built. 12 warships hung in space, each one designed to fight enemies with technology far beyond what Earth was supposed to have. "Admiral, we have confirmation from all ship commanders," her communications officer reported. "The fleet is ready for combat." Brooks had joined the project 15 years ago when she was just a captain. Back then, people thought she was crazy for believing that aliens might attack Earth. Now those same people were grateful that someone had been preparing. The USS Defiant drifted silently through the asteroid belt. Captain Lisa Murphy stood on her bridge watching her crew work at their stations. Every person on the ship was a volunteer. They had all given up normal lives to train for this day. "Captain, we're receiving coded signals from the other ships in the fleet," her communications officer said. All vessels report ready. Murphy smiled. The aliens thought humans were primitive. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Engineer Tony Garcia worked in his laboratory deep inside the moon. The facility had been built secretly over 15 years, disguised as a mining operation. In reality, it was humanity's most advanced weapons research center. Garcia looked at the device on his workbench. It was about the size of a baseball, but it contained enough destructive power to destroy a small moon. The aliens called humans primitive, but Garcia doubted they had ever seen weapons like these. The Nova bombs are ready, he reported to Dr. Stone over the secure channel. Each one can create an explosion equal to a small star going supernova. How many do we have? Stone asked. 250 completed. Another 100 will be ready in 12 hours. Stone was quiet for a moment. That should be enough. Commander Rachel Turner was busy placing the final quantum mines around Earth's orbital space. The mines were invisible to most sensors and could tear apart any ship that came too close. She had been working for 3 days straight, but the job was almost done. Last mine is in position, she reported to Admiral Brooks. The trap is set. On Sur, Earth, panic continued in the streets. People did not know about the secret preparations. They only saw the alien fleet getting closer every hour. Television news showed the massive ships moving past Jupiter, then past the asteroid belt. President Carter met with world leaders through secure video links. The President of Russia, the Prime Minister of Britain, and leaders from every major nation were on the call. Are you certain this will work? The President of France asked. We have been preparing for almost 30 years, Carter replied. If it does not work, we are all dead anyway. Dr. Amanda Clark had been moved to a secure facility for her own protection. As the person who first detected the alien signal, she was considered too valuable to risk. But she insisted on helping with the defense plans. Their communications frequency is very specific, she explained to the military officers around her. If we can jam it at the right moment, their ships will not be able to coordinate with each other. General Patricia Hayes studied the tactical displays at NORAD. The alien fleet was massive, but it was moving in predictable patterns. The aliens seemed confident that no one would fight back. They are treating this like a parade, not a battle, she told her staff. They have no idea what is waiting for them. Captain Jake Morrison continued to watch the alien fleet from the space station. What he saw surprised him. The alien ships were not spread out defensively. They were bunched together like they were showing off their numbers. Ground control. The aliens are making a mistake, he reported. They are flying in tight formation. If something happened to their lead ships, it would cause chaos in the rest of the fleet. Down in Facility 7, Dr. Stone received Morrison's report with interest. Perfect, he said to Captain Walsh. Order all weapons platforms to target the command ships first. When the leaders are gone, the rest will be confused. Stone walked to the main display screen that showed the positions of all human forces. What looked like empty space was actually full of hidden weapons and ships. The aliens had no idea they were flying into the most dangerous trap in human history. Dr. Helen Parker worked at her computer in a bunker beneath the Pentagon. Her job was to coordinate all the satellite networks and tracking systems. Every alien ship was being watched and targeted. We have visual confirmation on 3,200 alien vessels, she reported. All weapon systems have target locks. The alien fleet passed Mars and continued toward Earth. Commander Zeth appeared on television screens again, speaking to the human population. You have 18 hours left to surrender, he announced. Our sensors show no significant military preparations on your world. You cannot hide from us. Surrender now and avoid unnecessary death. What Commander Zeth did not know was that human sensors were far better than he thought. Every alien ship had been tracked and analyzed. Their weapon systems, shield frequencies, and engine signatures had all been studied. President Carter appeared on television after the alien broadcast ended. Citizens of Earth, he said, I want you to know that we are not defenseless. For almost 30 years, brave men and women have been preparing for this day. They have built weapons and ships in secret. They have trained and planned and sacrificed. Tomorrow, When the aliens expect us to surrender, they will instead face the full power of human determination. The president paused and looked directly into the camera. The aliens think we are primitive. They think we are weak. They have conquered 47 worlds, but they have never faced humanity. Tomorrow they will learn why that was a mistake. Around the world, people watched their president's speech. For the first time since the aliens arrived, many began to feel hope instead of fear. In hidden bases and secret facilities, human forces made their final preparations. Weapons that should not exist were powered up. Ships that were supposed to be impossible checked their systems one last time. The aliens were 18 hours away from Earth. They expected to find a defenseless world ready to surrender. Instead, they were about to fly into the most devastating ambush in galactic history. The trap was set. The weapons were ready. All that remained was to spring it at exactly the right moment. Humanity's secret was about to be revealed, and the galaxy would never be the same. The alien fleet reached Mars exactly on schedule. Commander Zeth stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking at the red planet through the view screen. His sensors showed no signs of human activity on Mars, just an empty, dead world like so many others they had passed. "Begin the final approach to Earth," he ordered his crew. "Maintain formation. The humans will see our full strength and surrender without a fight." What Commander Zeth did not see were the small objects floating in Mars' orbit. They looked like pieces of space junk, but they were actually Commander Steve Adams and his team of specialists. They had been waiting in their disguised probe for 3 days. Adams watched his sensors as the alien fleet moved closer. "Target acquired," he whispered into his radio. "All units prepare for activation." Hidden around Mars were 50 quantum disruption devices. They had been placed there over the past 5 years, disguised as old satellites and research equipment. Each device could create an electromagnetic pulse strong enough to shut down electronics across thousands of miles. "On my mark," Adam said. 3, 2, 1, mark. The devices exploded all at once. The space around Mars lit up like a small sun. Waves of energy washed over the lead alien ships, and their navigation systems went dark. Warning lights flashed on alien bridges as computers failed and engines stuttered. Commander Zeth grabbed his command chair as his ship shook. "What happened?" he demanded. "Report. Our navigation systems are down," his weapons officer replied. "The electromagnetic pulse has damaged our computers. We are flying blind." For the first time in 50 years of conquest, the Kethavar fleet was confused and vulnerable. That was when Captain Lisa Murphy struck. The USS Defiant dropped out of stealth mode just behind the alien formation. Murphy had been following the fleet for 2 days, hidden by advanced cloaking technology. Now she revealed herself with weapons blazing. "Fire Nova torpedoes," she ordered. The torpedoes were engineer Tony Garcia's masterpiece. Each one contained a tiny piece of star material that could create a controlled nuclear explosion. The first torpedo hit an alien cruiser, and the ship simply vanished in a ball of white light. "Direct hit," her weapons officer reported. "Target destroyed." The other ships in Murphy's squadron revealed themselves at the same moment. The USS Ranger, USS Falcon, and USS Thunder appeared from different directions, surrounding the confused alien fleet. Their Nova weapons lit up space with brilliant explosions. On Earth, Lieutenant Colonel Maria Santos watched the battle through her targeting scope. The particle beam arrays that everyone thought were radio telescopes were actually weapons powerful, enough to cut through alien armor. She had 6 arrays under her command, hidden in different countries around the world. "Target the large ships first," she told her team. "Fire when ready." The particle beams struck from Earth, crossing millions of miles in seconds. The invisible energy cut through alien shields like they were made of paper. Ship after ship exploded. As the beams found their engines and weapon systems, Commander Zeth could not believe what he was seeing. His fleet of 3,000 ships was being attacked by enemies that should not exist. Human technology was supposed to be primitive, but these weapons were more advanced than anything the Kethavar had ever faced. "All ships, return fire," he ordered. destroy the human vessels. But the alien weapons were designed to fight enemies with simple technology. The human ships had shields that could deflect energy beams and armor that could resist plasma bolts. What should have been easy kills became running battles. Dr. Amanda Clark sat in her secure facility, coordinating the attack through the global communications network. She had become the voice that connected all human forces, relaying targeting, data, and battle updates. "Murphy, you have 3 cruisers coming up behind you," she reported. "Santos, target those ships with Array 4. "Understood," Murphy replied, beginning evasive maneuvers. The USS Defiant spun and rolled between the alien ships, firing Nova torpedoes at close range. Each shot destroyed an enemy vessel, but more kept coming. The aliens were learning to fight back. Hidden in the asteroid belt, Captain Danny Ross watched the main battle and waited for his moment. He commanded a squadron of fighter craft equipped with ghost drives, engines that could briefly phase the ships out of normal spacetime. "Ghost Squadron, this is Ross," he said over the radio. "Time to show them our special trick." The 20 fighters activated their ghost drives and disappeared from normal space. They reappeared inside the alien ships, materializing in engine rooms and command centers. The fighters had only seconds before they had to phase out again, but that was enough time to fire their weapons. Alien ships began exploding from the inside. The Kethvar could not understand how human weapons were appearing inside their vessels. Their shields were designed to keep attacks out, not to stop enemies that could appear anywhere. Admiral Susan Brooks watched the battle from her command center near Saturn. The first phase was going well, but she knew the real test was coming. The aliens would soon realize they were fighting a real war, not conquering a helpless planet. "All reserve ships, prepare for Phase 2, she ordered. "This is just the beginning." The orbital weapons platforms that had been hidden around Earth's solar system began to activate. What looked like asteroids and space debris revealed themselves to be weapons of incredible power. Fusion cannons that could destroy moons began charging their systems. Commander Zeth was growing desperate. His fleet had lost over 200 ships in the first 10 minutes of battle. The humans were fighting with technology that should not exist, and tactics that made no sense. "Send a message to the Dominion," he ordered. "Tell them we need reinforcements. The humans are not what we expected." But Dr. Helen Parker and her team had been monitoring alien communications from the beginning. The moment the aliens tried to send their message, human jammers blocked the signal. No word of the battle would reach the Kethvar home worlds. General Patricia Hayes watched the tactical display at NORAD with satisfaction. The alien fleet was breaking apart as ships tried to escape the human trap, but Commander Rachel Turner's quantum mines were waiting at the edges of the solar system. The first alien ship to try escaping hit a mine and was torn apart at the molecular level. The other ships quickly learned that retreat was impossible. They were trapped between Mars and Earth with nowhere to run. "The trap is working perfectly," Hayes reported to President Carter. "The aliens are surrounded and taking heavy losses." Back in space, Captain Murphy was fighting for her life. Her ship had taken damage from alien weapons, and her shields were failing. But she kept firing, knowing that every alien ship destroyed meant millions of human lives saved. "Captain, we have a problem," her engineer reported. "Our Nova torpedoes are running low." "Then we switch to conventional weapons," Murphy replied. "We keep fighting until we win or die." The battle raged across millions of miles of space. Human ships dodged between alien vessels, firing weapons that created miniature stars. Particle beams from Earth cut through enemy formations. Fighter craft appeared and disappeared like ghosts, striking from impossible angles. Commander Zeth realized his fleet was doomed. The humans had turned his conquest into a massacre. His advanced technology meant nothing against enemies who could create weapons from the physics of stars themselves. "All ships, concentrate fire on Earth," he ordered in desperation. "If we cannot conquer them, we will destroy them." But Earth was protected by more than just ships and orbital weapons. The planet itself had been turned into a fortress. Energy shields powered by fusion reactors surrounded the world. Any weapon that reached Earth would have to get through defenses that could stop planet-killing attacks. The alien fleet was trapped, outnumbered, and outgunned. What should have been an easy conquest had become a fight for survival against an enemy they did not understand, and the humans were just getting started. Admiral Susan Brooks stood in her command center watching the main battle display. The alien fleet had lost nearly half their ships, but they were still fighting hard. It was time to end this. "Activate Project Helios," she ordered. Across the asteroid belt, massive structures that had been hidden for 20 years began to move. They looked like ordinary asteroids, but inside each one was a fusion-powered cannon the size of a skyscraper. These weapons had been built in secret, powered by artificial suns and aimed at the space between Mars and Earth. Dr. Richard Stone watched from his bunker as the Helios weapons came online. Each cannon could fire a beam with the power of a real star. There were 36 of them scattered throughout the asteroid belt, and they were all targeting the alien fleet. "All Helios stations report ready," Captain Linda Walsh announced. "Awaiting your command." Stone looked at the tactical display. The alien ships were packed together, trying to form a defensive formation. They had no idea what was about to hit them. "Fire," he said quietly. Space lit up like a second sun being born. 36 beams of pure stellar energy lanced out from the asteroid belt, each one hot enough to melt planets. The beams struck the alien fleet with devastating results. Entire groups of alien ships simply vanished. Others were cut in half by the energy beams. The Kethvar shields that had protected them against every weapon they had ever faced were useless against the power of artificial stars. Commander Zeth watched in horror as his flagship's sensors showed ship after ship being destroyed. In 30 seconds, he lost 500 vessels to weapons that should not exist. "How do they have this technology?" he screamed at his science officer. "The humans were supposed to be primitive." The science officer was staring at his readings, in shock. "Commander, these energy signatures match those of stellar cores. The humans have somehow weaponized star material." Captain Danny Ross led his Ghost Fighter squadron on their most dangerous mission yet. While the big ships fought with massive weapons, his small fighters had a special job. They were going to appear inside the alien command ships and destroy them from within. "Ghost Squadron, prepare for deep penetration," Ross said over the radio. "We go in, hit the bridge, and get out fast." The 20 fighters activated their ghost drives and phased out of normal space. They reappeared inside Commander Zeth's flagship, materializing directly on the bridge where the alien officers were standing. The aliens had no time to react. Ross and his pilots fired their weapons at point-blank range, destroying the ship's command systems and killing most of the bridge crew. Then they phased out again before the aliens could fight back. Commander Zeth survived the attack, but his ship was crippled. Half his officers were dead, and his command systems were offline. Around him, other alien ships were reporting similar attacks as human fighters appeared inside their vessels like ghosts. Dr. Karen Mills monitored alien communications from her facility on Earth. The intercepted messages told a story of panic and confusion. The Kethvar had never faced an enemy like this. "They are breaking," she reported to General Hayes. "Their commanders are losing control of their forces. Some ships are trying to surrender." But Captain Lisa Murphy was not in a mood to accept surrender. Her ship had taken heavy damage in the fighting, and she had lost good friends when the aliens destroyed the USS Thunder. The Defiant limped toward a group of alien cruisers, her weapons still blazing. "No surrender," she told her crew. "They came here to kill us all, now they pay the price." The Nova torpedoes struck the alien ships one after another. Each explosion created a small supernova that turned enemy vessels into cosmic dust. Murphy's crew cheered as another group of invaders was wiped out. Engineer Tony Garcia was working frantically in his lunar laboratory. The battle was using up weapons faster than expected, and he needed to produce more Nova bombs quickly. "How many do we have left?" Dr. Stone asked over the communication link. 50 Nova bombs ready to go," Garcia replied. "I can have another 100 ready in 2 hours." "We might not have 2 hours," Stone said. "The aliens are getting desperate. They might try something crazy." He was right. Commander Zeth had gathered the surviving commanders for an emergency meeting. With more than 2,000 ships destroyed, The invasion was a complete disaster, but he had one last option. "We will ram their planet," he announced. "If we cannot conquer Earth, we will destroy it. Full speed ahead. All ships target the human homeworld." The remaining alien vessels, nearly 1,000 ships, turned toward Earth and accelerated to maximum speed. They were going to crash into the planet and kill everyone on it. General Patricia Hayes saw the alien formation change on her tactical display. "They are making a suicide run," she announced. "All defensive platforms, prepare for final engagement." Commander, Rachel Turner's quantum mines were the last line of defense. She had placed hundreds of them in Earth's orbital space, invisible devices that could tear apart anything that came too close. "Mines are armed and ready," she reported. "But there are too many ships. Some will get through." That was when President Carter made the hardest decision of his life. Earth had one final weapon, something so powerful it had never been tested. The planetary shield generators could create a barrier around the entire world, but using them would drain every power source on the planet. "Activate the planetary shields," he ordered. "Full power." Around Earth, massive generators came to life. They had been built in secret over 15 years, hidden in deep ocean trenches and underground caverns. Energy from every nuclear power, plant, solar farm, and fusion reactor on the planet flowed into the shield system. A dome of pure energy formed around Earth, stretching from the surface to beyond the moon. It was bright enough to be seen from Mars, a barrier that could stop anything the aliens could throw at it. The first alien ships hit the mines at the edge of Earth's gravity well. Explosions tore through their formation as the quantum devices ripped ships apart at the molecular level. But Commander Zeth and his flagship pressed on, leading the desperate charge. Captain Jake Morrison watched from the space station as the alien ships struck the planetary shield. Each impact created a burst of light brighter than lightning. The aliens were throwing everything they had at the barrier, but it held firm. "The shield is holding," he reported to ground control. "The aliens cannot get through, but the shield was draining Earth's power reserves fast." In the cities below, lights went out as all available energy fed the defensive barrier. People gathered in the streets, looking up at the glowing dome that protected their world. Admiral Brooks made the final decision. The orbital weapons platforms that had been hidden around the solar system all targeted the alien ships trapped against Earth's shield. Fusion cannons, particle beams, and nova launchers fired together in one massive coordinated strike. The space around Earth became a storm of energy and explosions. Alien ships were destroyed faster than sensors could count them. The Kethvar fleet that had come to conquer humanity was being wiped out completely. Commander Zeth's flagship was one of the last to die. As his ship fell apart around him, he sent one final message to his crew. "How did the humans become so powerful?" he whispered. "We conquered 47 worlds. How did we lose to them?" The answer was simple, but he would never understand it. The humans had something the Kethvar did not. They had spent 30 years preparing, planning, and building weapons in secret. They had turned their fear into determination and their weakness into strength. The last alien ship exploded against Earth's shield. The invasion was over. But humanity's war with the galaxy was just beginning. The last alien ship exploded in a ball of fire against Earth's protective shield. Captain Jake Morrison watched from the space station as the debris scattered into space. After 3 days of terror and battle, the silence felt strange. "Ground control, this is Morrison," he said into his radio. "I can confirm all alien vessels have been destroyed. The fleet is gone." Around the world, people saw the planetary shield fade away as the generators powered down. The glowing dome that had protected them disappeared, revealing a clear sky filled with the wreckage of the alien invasion force. In cities everywhere, crowds gathered in the streets and cheered. President Carter stood in the Situation Room, surrounded by military leaders and scientists. The main screen showed a map of the solar system with green dots marking human forces and red dots marking alien debris. There were no red dots left alive. "Is it over?" he asked General Patricia Hayes. "Yes, Mr. President," she replied. "We have destroyed the entire invasion fleet. Not a single alien ship escaped." Dr. Richard Stone walked through the halls of Facility 7, checking on his exhausted staff. They had worked for 3 days without rest, coordinating the most complex military operation in human history. The hidden weapons and secret ships had performed exactly as planned. "Dr. Stone," Captain Linda Walsh called out, "we are receiving reports from all our stations. Project Prometheus was a complete success. The aliens never knew what hit them." Stone nodded, but he did not look happy. "This was just the beginning," he said. "The Kethvar Dominion will notice that their fleet is missing. They will send investigators. We need to be ready for the next wave." Admiral Susan Brooks was already thinking about the future. In her command, center near Saturn, she studied reports about the alien technology that human forces had recovered. Some enemy ships had been disabled rather than destroyed, and their systems contained valuable information. "What do we know about their homeworlds?" she asked her intelligence officer. "According to their computer records, the Kethvar control 47 star systems. Their main fleet has over 50,000 ships. This invasion force was just a small part of their military." Brooks was quiet for a moment. The humans had won. An amazing victory, but they were still vastly outnumbered. The galaxy was a dangerous place, and Earth had just announced its presence in the most violent way possible. Captain Lisa Murphy brought her damaged ship back to the hidden base near Jupiter. The USS Defiant had taken heavy damage in the fighting, but her crew had survived. As she docked with the repair station, Murphy thought about all the friends she had lost in the battle. "Captain," her communications officer said, "we are receiving a message from Admiral Brooks. All ship commanders are to report for immediate debriefing." The debriefing took place over secure video link. 12 ship commanders appeared on screens around Admiral Brooks's conference table. These were the people who had led humanity's first space battle against alien invaders. "The good news is that we won," Brooks began. "The bad news is that this was just a scouting force. The real Kethvar fleet is much larger and more powerful. We need to prepare for a longer war." Dr. Amanda Clark had been moved to a new facility where alien technology was being studied. As the person who first detected the invasion signal, she had become humanity's chief expert on alien communications. The captured equipment was teaching her amazing things. "Their technology is not as advanced as we thought," she explained to President Carter during a video call. "They rely on brute force rather than clever engineering. Our weapons are actually more sophisticated than theirs." This was welcome news. The aliens had seemed unbeatable, but they had weaknesses that could be exploited. Captain Danny Ross and his Ghost Fighter squadron were being studied by human scientists. The ghost drives that let his ships phase in and out of normal space were technology that even the aliens did not have. Earth's secret research had produced weapons beyond anything the galaxy had seen. "We want to build more Ghost Fighters," Dr. Stone told Ross. "Can you train new pilots?" "Give me 100 volunteers, and 6 months," Ross replied. "I will give you the best fighter squadron in the galaxy." Commander Rachel Turner was expanding the quantum mine network around Earth. The mines had been crucial in stopping the alien suicide attack, and now she was placing them throughout the solar system. "If more aliens come, they will find every planet and moon defended," she reported to General Hayes. "We are turning our entire star system into a fortress." President Carter appeared on television for the first time since the battle ended. The world was waiting to hear what would happen. "Next, my fellow humans," he began. "We have won our first victory against the alien threat, but this war is far from over. Today I am announcing the creation of the Terran Defense Initiative. We will build new ships, train new soldiers, and prepare for whatever comes next." The president paused and looked directly into the camera. "For too long, Earth has been alone in the galaxy. We thought we were weak and isolated, but we have proven that humanity will not surrender to anyone. We have weapons that can destroy stars. We have ships that can appear anywhere. We have the courage to fight impossible odds and win." Around the world, construction began on massive orbital shipyards. The secret fleet that had defeated the aliens was just the beginning. Soon, Earth would have hundreds of warships patrolling the solar system. Dr. Helen Parker was put in charge of a new early warning network. Radio telescopes and sensor stations would watch for any sign of alien activity. Never again would humanity be caught off guard. "We are building listening posts throughout the outer planets," she told Admiral Brooks. "If anyone approaches our solar system, we will know about it weeks in advance." Engineer Tony Garcia moved his weapons laboratory from the moon to a larger facility on Mars. The Nova bombs that had been so effective against the aliens were being mass-produced. Soon human ships would carry weapons that could destroy entire fleets. "How many Nova bombs do you need?" President Carter asked during a planning meeting. "All of them," Garcia replied. "The aliens will come back with more ships. We need to be ready to destroy them all." 6 months after the battle, the first new human warship rolled out of the orbital shipyards. The USS Victory was twice the size of the old ships and carried weapons powerful enough to crack planets. Captain Murphy was chosen to be its first. "Commander, this ship represents the new humanity," Admiral Brooks said at the launching ceremony. "We are no longer hiding. We are ready to take our place among the stars." The ceremony was broadcast throughout the solar system, on Earth, Mars, and the moon colonies. People watched as humanity's newest weapon prepared for its first patrol. The ship looked nothing like the secret vessels that had fought the invasion. It was sleek, powerful, and obviously designed for. War Dr. Stone stood in his new command center, watching the displays that showed human forces throughout the solar system. Weapon platforms surrounded every planet. Patrol ships moved between the asteroids. Early warning stations scanned deep space for threats. "The aliens wanted to conquer Earth," he said to Captain Walsh. "Instead, they taught us how to become conquerors ourselves." Far across the galaxy, the Kethvar Dominion was growing concerned. The invasion fleet sent to Earth had not reported back. Ships sent to investigate found only empty space and strange energy readings, but the humans were ready for whatever came next. Earth was no longer a helpless world waiting to be conquered. It was a fortress among the stars, protected by weapons that could destroy fleets and defended by people who refused to surrender. The galaxy had a new power to reckon with. Humanity had announced its presence with fire and fury, and the message was clear to any species that might be listening. Earth would bow to no one. The age of human expansion had begun.